You ever notice some people make you feel safe instantly? You talk to them, and somehow you feel lighter, clearer, like you can finally breathe. And then there are other people who make you feel judged more. And then there are other people who make you feel judged before you even finish your sentence. Here's the crazy part: most people don't listen to you, they listen to their opinion of you. And if you learn how to stop doing that, you become one of the rarest people in the world, a person who makes other people feel seen. And that changes everything. You know what most people want more than money, more than success, more than being right? They want to feel seen. They want to feel heard. They want to feel like somebody understands what it's like to be them. And almost nobody gives that to them because most people are not listening. They are waiting, waiting to talk, waiting to disagree, waiting to give advice, waiting to tell you why you are wrong. And you can feel it. You can feel when somebody is listening to respond instead of listening to understand. And that is why so many people feel alone, even when they are surrounded by people. The hard truth is this: most people do not hear other people, they hear their own interpretation. The moment someone starts talking, your brain instantly starts doing three things. You compare what they said to your own life, you judge it, and then you prepare your response. You are not hearing them, you are hearing your version of them. That is where judgment comes from. You see somebody angry, and instead of asking, what pain created that anger? You label them difficult. You see somebody quiet, instead of asking what they might be carrying, you label them weak. You see somebody acting different, and instead of getting curious, you judge. Because judgment is fast. Understanding takes effort. But understanding is where we connect, and understanding is where connection lives. Here's the shift that changes everything. Stop trying to be the judge. Stop trying to be the fixer. Stop trying to be the smartest person in the room. Become the witness. A witness says, what is it like to be this person right now? That one question can transform the way you see people because suddenly you are not standing above them, you are standing beside them. And people can feel that. They can feel when you are trying to win, and they can feel when you are trying to understand. The strongest thing you can do in a conversation is not give advice, it is to reflect. Instead of saying, well, here is what you should do, try saying, that sounds really hard. You felt invisible there. You really cared about that. You sound hurt. You sound disappointed. Why does that why does this work? Because most people have never had their feelings reflected back to them. They have had people argue with them, correct them, dismiss them, fix them, but they have rarely had somebody simply say, I see you. And when somebody feels seen, they relax, they open, they trust. This is a crazy paradox. People do not change when they are judged. They change when they feel safe enough to tell the truth. Think about your own life. Who are the people you trust most? Is it not the people who always had the best advice? Is it the people who made you feel safe? The people who made you feel like you could be honest? The people who looked at you and did not instantly decide who you were? That is what everybody wants. That is what everybody wants. And if you want to make people feel heard and seen, you have to stop putting yourself above them because judgment comes from this hidden belief. I see more clearly than you do. But what if instead you said, given what this person has been through, it makes sense they feel this way? That does not mean you agree with everything. This is important. You do not have to agree with somebody to understand them. You can say, I understand why you feel that way, without saying, and therefore everything you did was right. You can validate the feeling without validating the behavior. That is wisdom. That is maturity. Because people are not their worst moment. People are not the mistake they made. People are not the label you put on them. Most people are carrying pain you cannot see, fear you cannot see, pressure you cannot see. And sometimes the kindest thing you can do is not to judge what they are showing, because, and to realize there is probably more underneath it. But to realize there's probably more underneath it. And here is something most people miss. You cannot truly hear another person if your nervous system is in survival mode. If you are stressed, rushed, triggered, defensive, you are not listening. You are protecting. That is why calm matters. Take a breath, slow down, relax your body, soften your face. Because calm people hear more. Calm people see more. Calm people do not rush to judgment. And as you've and as always said in this channel, identity is not declared; it is repeated. So repeat this identity: I am someone who listens. I am someone who sees people. I do not rush to judge. I get curious. I slow down. I ask questions. I try to understand. Because the people who change the world are not always the loudest. They are often the people who make others feel safe enough to become themselves. And maybe the deepest and maybe the deepest truth of all is this: the things you judge most in others are often the things you have not fully made peace with in yourself. So every time you choose understanding over judgment, you heal a little more of the world and a little more of yourself. Because everybody wants to be seen, everybody wants to be heard, everybody wants to know, do I matter? And sometimes the greatest gift you can give another human being is to let them know the answer is yes, always yes. Go in love and peace with wisdom and understanding. Enjoy this day.